Question for you today. Do you have hope? You got hope? You got hope? If you have hope, it's evident upon your life. If we are truly saved in Jesus Christ and growing in Him, again, there's a difference. It doesn't mean life's easy. In fact, I find life gets harder, but that's where hope kicks in. So again, question, do you have hope? You're like, well, Robbie, it'd be helpful if you would define hope for me so I could answer the question more accurately. Okay, I'm glad you asked. Let's do that. Let's define hope. Hope is this. It is the confident, undying expectation based on God's perfect integrity that, again, allows us to know our future is 100% secure. And this is the best part. Despite the trial, despite the difficulty, despite any and all circumstances, that is the power of what hope does within our lives, okay? What's our text on this hope this week? Romans 8. Verses 18 to 25. Let me read for you verse 18. And as I read this verse, notice how hope is dripping from it, okay? Verse 18, Paul says this, "For I consider that the sufferings of this present time are not worth comparing to the glory that is to be revealed to us." And of course, that is in Christ Jesus. That verse just blesses me. Again, hope is it's just dripping. I encourage you, take a drink. You take a drink of what's presented here, and your life will change by it and because of it. Again, why is this so profound? Well, what we have here is we're learning from Paul. Why was Paul so effective? How did Paul manage to be so persevering within persecution? How come Paul could be so calm within chaos? Why was Paul able to have such character within crisis? How come we often fall apart in the same circumstances, but this guy was subjected to so many difficulties, and yet his vision was so clear and his character so strong? The answer in this text right here is hope. Paul's value system was so profound. If I know I have hope, here's what I learn right now. I want you to see the first point of what we understand from this text. It changes what I value. Do you see Paul's value system? Paul says here in verse 18, he says, the sufferings of this present world. And when Paul says sufferings, he's talking about beatings, stonings, sleepless nights, starvation, shipwrecks, imprisonment, massive persecution, probably a little bit more than you and I. Yet he says, I consider the sufferings in this present world are not even worth comparing to the glory of the hope in Jesus Christ. Three main players are operating in verse 18. You have sufferings on a scale versus glory. And what Paul says he says between these two, it's not even worth comparing. That phrase, not worth comparing, means to weigh, or again, place on the scales. So isn't that awesome? Paul says, let's put the sufferings I'm going through on the scale, and let's put glory coming in Jesus Christ. And which one weighs more? It's like this, okay? The glory that is found in Jesus Christ eternally is so profound, so awesome, and so powerful, and makes everything we'll ever go through, not diminishing your life, not diminishing your trials, not diminishing your suffering. I'm just telling you, compared to when Jesus Christ returns, it's going to seem as a feather compared to the weight of the glory in Jesus Christ. If you and I have hope, then we change what we value in this life. Some of you, the Lord's speaking to right now because you are desperately searching for this hope. You call us right now. 1-866-273-4444. Talk to one of our wonderful prayer line people to encourage you, support you, and love you, and point you to the path of hope eternal that allows you to go through sufferings of life because you see the glory in Jesus Christ that's coming.